And I don't think there really is a disconnect because if you're going to win the Stanley Cup or if you're going to win an NCAA championship, you have to do things the right way. And whether it's John Wooden, Claire Drake in Canada with numerous championships, the ability to teach is one thing, but the ability to communicate and get buy-in as a group is another. So I really believe that starting in minor hockey with this exercise, well, I would do the same exercise with the Philadelphia Flyers, but I would do it with the executive, I would do it with the scouts, and I would do it with the players. You have to do it from the bottom up, the top down, and the inside out.
Yeah, so
Literally,
you bring up a really good point there, and I don't think it's done. I'm, I'm willing to say it's not done, at least like town youth hockey level. Because we always talk about, like we talk about coaches, expectations, and that. What about the players? Like going back to like even an 8 or 10 year old kid. Like I would love to see what his or her expectations are of the season. Like, what do you want? What do you want to do? Like, do you want to get better at backward skating? Do you want to get better at shooting? Obviously, probably every kid's going to say we want to win. But that would be really interesting as an exercise to see. And now you've got a template for that coach. Well, this is what your kids want. So are you going to try to create an agenda for them? Or are you going to try to incorporate what they want and then you'll get success, right? Because they're going to want to be part of it because anybody that has ever been involved in any successful team, right? You know that in order to be successful, you have to have buy-in from your players. And that can start at a really young age. That can start at 8 years old, 10 years old. I mean, trying to teach kids responsibility. I remember back when I was coaching squirt hockey, my wife would laugh when the phone would ring and she'd hand me the phone and she'd say, it's Minnie Mouse on the phone. And she was kidding me because if my kids, squirt hockey here is 8 years old, right? If they weren't coming to practice, I said, I want you to call me. I don't want your mom to call me. I don't want your dad to call me. I want you to call me and tell me so I know that you're safe and you're okay. But if you're not coming to practice, I need to know that. And it was like it worked out great. That team was a lot of fun, successful, good kids. A lot of them, most of them kept playing. But at 8 years old, they would pick up a phone and they would call me and say, "Coach, I can't come to practice. I got a test tomorrow, or I got in trouble at school, or whatever it was." And it was a lot of fun, but I think it was good too. So I think even at the youngest age, making these kids part of it, whatever that may be, I think is really important.
Yeah, I think that's huge too, that they tell you and they're responsible.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, because that's one of the things lacking, right? We talked about that earlier about how today, and I get this because I hear it, right? Because I've got a daughter that teaches first grade, a daughter-in-law teaches sixth grade, uh, a wife that teaches, she has taught every grade. Right now, she's teaching high school. But the same thread comes through when there's an issue. Why isn't it my fault? Not what I could have done different. So that responsibility, that buy-in, and it's one of the great things about sports, right? Like you can teach kids that in a positive way, not a negative way. Like you're not in trouble because you did something wrong. Let's learn from it.